today we'll be talking about BLS International. BLS International is a tech-enabled services partner for governments and citizens. It provides services like visa, passport, consular, e-governance, attestation, biometric, e-visa and retail services to its clients, both governments and citizens. It also partners for embassies and governments across the world. Now, when we talk about world, the first question comes to our mind is the geographical presence of this company. We're talking about the geographical presence. You can see in this map, it has a good geographical presence. But which countries exactly are we talking about? For that, we'll go and visit the global presence. Over here, you can see the companies that are the clientele of this BLS International, with major countries like USA, United Kingdom, and Russia as well. This company is based out of India with its headquarters in New Delhi. So many things this one company is doing, and the best thing about it is all of this is tech enabled. Like, there is no money involved in buying any raw material, or like in Zomato, in the case of Zomato, you don't have to pay anything to your delivery partner, the fuel consumption or any uniform you have to buy and give it to the delivery partner. Nothing of that cost. It is tech enabled as in it provides these services through a software. Now we'll see the competitors. So you will see in the visa application services industry, key players include visa processing companies like Visa Headquarter, BTW Visas, as well as international outsourcing companies like VFS Global and BLS International. So you will see there are only two companies who are internationally outsourcing visa applications. That is VFS Global and BLS International. And you will not believe that only BLS International is the only company who is a listed company. That will be in the Indian stock market. VFS Global is not even listed. It is a private undertaking. BLS International is a public undertaking. So now we will see whether VFS Global is listed in the stock market. So as you can see, VFS Global is not currently listed on the stock market. It is a privately owned company, like I told you before, and there have been discussions about potential future listing, including an IPO. However, it has not been materialized. But now also we'll see if there are any listed peers of BLS International in the Indian stock market. In the Indian stock market, there are some listed peers of BLS International, that is First Source Solutions, eClerx Solutions Services Limited, and so on and so forth. But however, the main point to note is that all of these are companies which provide services which are not directly related to visa. They provide solutions like digital solutions, data analytics, or travel solutions, or hotel booking and all, but they do not provide specific visa related services. Now let's go to the fundamental analysis of the company. For doing fundamental analysis, I prefer Screener. Screener is a very versatile app. I have been using it from quite some time now. It's been 5 years that I've been using it. Over here, I like to first directly go to the profit and loss statement of a company and explore profit and loss statement from past 5 years onwards, because that is what matters. That is what shows the future of the company. Basically, you can figure out the future of the company by looking at its past, how they have been managing their money, how they have been growing it, how have been their business, how are they able to generate profits from their core operations, so on and so forth. So first, let's talk about the sales. As you will be able to see, the sales of the company have been constantly increasing from past 4 years onwards. In 2020 and 2021, there was a bit decline, and obviously we know the reason why. The reason was COVID. After that, 2022, 23, 24, 25, as you will be able to see, the sales have been constantly increasing. But the point to note is the expenses. The expenses have not been increasing proportionately with the sales. They have been able to restrict their expenses to a bare minimum, which is making them increase their profit, net profit. The net profit is increasing, consistently and constantly increasing from past 4 years. Now, the next thing that I like to talk about is the balance sheet. the reserves and the borrowings. What I feel is the reserves of a company should always be minimum 3 times of its borrowings. Like if the company is borrowing 360 crores, let's say 400 crores, the reserve should be at least 1200 crores. Only then they will be able to manage their borrowings. Otherwise, the company will go into debt and they will have to sell their stake or whatever to raise capital to come out of the debt. Over here, as you can see, the reserves is good. It is like 1690, close to 1700, and the borrowings are bare minimum, which is 359 crores. Coming to the cash flow, I like to see the cash flow as well. The net cash flow should always be positive until unless there is a reason behind it being negative. Over here, as you will be able to see, the cash from investing activity is minus 1119 crores. However, the cash from operating activity has surged from 350 to 829, which is more than 100% increment. But see, this negative figure, we will dive into this later in the video as to why this minus 1119 is there. Now, next big thing that I like to see in the company is the shareholding pattern. How the shareholders, the promoters of the company, the founders of the company have they increased their stake in the company or have they reduced their stake? Because if the founders are not confident about their stake, about their company, they are going to reduce their stake. They are going to run away from the company after selling it and booking their profits. So over here, as you will be able to see, in 2017, the stake of the promoter stood at 74.24%, and it was constant and even increased in increased to 74.59 March 2021. But after that, as you can see, in March 2025, the stake has reduced to about 70.38%, with a reduction of minus 3% at least. But the important thing to see over here is this minus 3 or 4% that has gone into the pockets of FIIs and DIIs. You will be able to see FIIs have increased their stake by 2.2% and DIIs have increased their stake by 1.2%. And public have reduced their stake. This is the classic example of the money flowing from dumb hands to smart hands. See how these people have increased their stake in the company. This is a good thing. After this, I like to see the PE ratio of the company. The PE ratio stands at 33.1, which is a bit high. But if you see the 3 years PE, it is lesser than that. The 3 years PE is 44 and the current PE of the company is 33. The second thing I like to see is the profit variation for past 3 years. The company is generating profits like crazy. From past 3 years, it has increased its profit to 66%. And the next thing that I like to look is the 200 DMA, so that I can go ahead with technical analysis as well. So over here, if you will be able to see, this is the 200 DMA line. I have deselected 50 DMA. This is the price on BSE. This is 200 DMA. With the 200 DMA line, the price has just crossed 200 DMA in recent times only. And if you see the PE ratio, the median PE is 30 and the present PE is 33.2, which is a good thing. The PE is close to the median PE. That means there is scope for improvement for the company. Now, let's jump to why this figure was minus when the company is doing so good. It is generating profits consistently. The reserves are good. Borrowings are less. The debt to equity ratio is only 0.21. The company is not in debt. Then why it is not able to generate a positive cash flow is what we are going to look today. So finally, going back to the company again, we will go to financial reports. Once we go to financial report, I have actually already opened it. Wait, I'll show it to you. Over here is the financial report. First, we'll start from the fourth quarter onwards. The fourth quarter financial report is here. And before seeing any of that, actually all of this is available in the screener website in a decluttered fashion after removing all the noise from it. So what we are going to see is only the notes to consolidated financial reports. In the notes, you can see during the year the group has made the following acquisitions. 100% stake in Citizenship Invest, 51% stake in SLW Media Private Limited, 57% stake in the Fidelis Solutions Private Limited, 51% stake in BLS UK Hotels, 100% stake in iData through BLS International SE on 9th July 2024. This is something that interested me when I was going through this. So they have invested in iData and they have acquired it on 9th of July 2024. For this, I went back and downloaded the financial report of 30th September.
Here I was able to figure out that the company had acquired 100% equity shares of iData for a consideration of rupees 71,973 lakhs. So if you convert this to crores, 71,973 lakhs crores. It comes to almost 719.73 crores. So out of, now you'll be able to understand that out of minus 119 crores, 720 crores have been invested into iData. Now I will show you the breakdown of cash flow from investing activities as to where that amount of minus 1119 crores actually went. So first of all of these numbers that you are able to see here is in lakhs. So we'll have to convert it to crores. Once you convert it to crores, the decimal will shift again 2 digits left of it. So now you will be able to see purchase of property, plant and equipment is 161 crores. Sale proceeds from property is 103 crores. Payment towards acquisition of subsidiary is 899 crores. Investment in term deposits is 601 crores. In not 6 crores. Interest income received is 51 crores, which brings us to a total net cash flow generated in investing from investing activities to my 1119 crores. Now I will quickly analyze the technical aspects of the stock. I have already opened this stock over here, and as you will be able to see, I have marked the support, resistance and the trend line on the stock. And if you will be able to see, the stock has jumped from this support at 330 and then crossed over the 200 DMA and is now near the resistance of around 424, which it is not able to break as of now, but there are high chances that it will break from here and come back again to its previous levels of 520, because we have already analyzed the fundamentals of the company, and I am sure even if it comes back to the trend line to the levels of 370, it might bounce back again and give good returns in the near future. And since we have analyzed the fundamentals, the company is going to deliver long-term results, good long-term results to its investors. As we have come to the final part of the video, we will now answer the big question that can BLS International be the next multi-bagger? To answer this question, we'll first see that the company is the only listed company in the Indian stock market. Leave Indian stock market, it is the only company listed in the entire world. The closest competitor VFS Global is not even listed. We have already talked about it. Second, you need to understand that companies like these are employed as a contractual basis with the governments and the embassies, and their contracts are renewed on a yearly basis. Since this company is working with the government and embassies, the important thing to note is that this company's reputation with the governments and the embassies is quite good, because only then this company is able to achieve contracts for the next year, because there are a lot of problems with the visa application, and a lot of scams also happen around visas, passports, and these are very sensitive things. So if a company is getting contracts again and again and again, then it means that the company has a good reputation with the governments. Lastly, the fundamentals of the company are very strong. Like we saw, the profit was rising constantly and consistently. The PE of the company was at the lowest from past 3 years. The shareholding pattern, the FIIs and DIs have increased their stake in the previous year. And finally, the debt to equity ratio was also very less. Reserves were more or less close to 4 times the borrowings. All of these
point to only one direction, that the company is fundamentally strong and in the future it might deliver good results. You need to understand that this video is not a suggestion to buy this stock, but rather to give you a pathway as to how to go about analyzing stocks in the Indian stock market. If you want me to analyze any other company, please write the name of the company in the comment section below. Till then, happy subscribing.